Carlos, my friend, can you hear me? Okay, I can't hear you, but here we go.
I can hear you.
Okay, Andy can hear you. I'll tell you what, Carlos, let's go ahead, take it to commercial break, and let's come right back with the show intro once again.
Brought to you by Route 66 Casino Hotel.
Put your game faces on and get ready to experience sports betting like never before. Caesars Sportsbook is taking over at Route 66 Casino Hotel with new game-dominating betting options, better rewards, and the best sportsbook in the U.S. Let the games begin. Place your bets today. Get your kicks.
Well, traffic right now, we do have slowdowns I-25 as you approach the construction zone. That will affect both directions. Seeing a little bit more of a slowdown now westbound on Paseo as you approach 2nd Street. That's going to last until the river. Southbound Coors near Montano. Traffic moving a little slow there. Also seeing a little bit of a slowdown westbound on I-40 as you approach Coors.
This report brought to you by Quality by DiLorenzo, Lomas, and Pennsylvania.
Quality Buick GMC just got a special allocation from General Motors to help you beat possible tariffs. 137 tariff-free GMCs. Select Sierras with 0.9% or $5,600 cash back. Quality Buick GMC.
Accident, call the Traffic Tracker hotline at 767-9167. Brought to you by American Home Furniture and Mattress, serving the community since 1936.
You hear it, Andy?
World class.
Okay.
Oh, just went out.
And it went out again.
KKOB Traffic Center.
I don't.
95.9 FM and AM 610, The Sports Animal, is sending you to Say Santa version 2.0, featuring Primus, Pussifer, and Perfect Circle, April 27th at the Isleta Amphitheater. Listen to win tickets on The Sports Animal and log on to livenation.com to purchase tickets.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Annie's first oil change wasn't as hard as she thought because she went to AutoZone. He explained the job and showed her free how-tos on AutoZone.com. When she was done, AutoZone recycled her.
Can you hear me now?
No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Weekends at Casino at the Downs has cash drawings 2 to 10 p.m. Fantastic dining, live music and dancing, and watch your favorite sports in our lounge. Casino at the Downs, your home for winning entertainment. And be sure to check out the flea market and other Expo events. The Crown Room inside Casino at the Downs invites you to dine in elegance with exquisite menu selections, fine wines, and more. Enjoy the ambiance, including original paintings by Leroy Neiman. Casino at the Downs Crown Room, the best in fine dining. Visit abqdowns.com for menu and reservations.
What up, fellow Gen Xers? Elizabeth Banks here. As the original Latchkey kids, we took things into our own hands, like house keys and video game controllers. And now it's time for us to do it again, because the recommended age to get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. We're at over 6 times greater risk compared to adults under 50. So go to vaxassist.com and schedule. Gen X, this is our shot. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and sports fans of all ages, broadcasting live from the heart of...
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear the station?
Yes, sir.
Of sports entertainment talk. Get ready for in-depth discussions on everything from the court to the field, mixed with a bit business and culture that orbit the sports world. Whether it's the latest blockbuster trade or the societal impact of sports, two men are.
Station went out.
FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
Hey, yo. What it is, Duke City. Your boy Van is here with you. We shrugged off a couple techie McDiffy boys, but here we are.
It's the wind.
It is the wind. It's the wind. People don't know how to act when it's windy.
I don't.
You don't have. You didn't leave the house all day.
No.
Yeah.
No, I took my kid to get a haircut.
You look fantastic. Not a drop of wind on you. Andy Lyman, newsman.
Yeah, I'm a free agent now, independent.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to a commercial break again because we don't have the station or the producer or my co-host in my ear. And apologies, we'll be back with more sports and sports adjacent content.
We're on air.
Commercial, please.
Brought to you by Route 66 Casino Hotel.
Put your game faces on and get ready to experience sports betting like never before. Caesars Sportsbook is taking over at Route 66 Casino Hotel with new game-dominating betting options, better rewards, and the best sportsbook in the U.S. Let the games begin. Place your bets today. Get your kicks.
Well, traffic right now, we do have slowdowns I-25 as you approach the construction zone. That will affect both directions. Seeing a little bit more of a slowdown now westbound on Paseo as you approach 2nd Street. That's going to last until the river. Southbound Coors near Montano. Traffic moving a little slow there. Also seeing a little bit of a slowdown westbound on I-40 as you approach Coors.
This report brought to you by Quality by DiLorenzo, Lomas, and Pennsylvania.
Quality Buick GMC just got a special allocation from General Motors to help you beat possible tariffs. 137 tariff-free GMCs. Select Sierras with 0.9% or $5,600 cash back. Quality Buick GMC. QualityDeal.com.
If you see an accident, call the Traffic Tracker hotline at 767-9167. Brought to you by American Home Furniture and Mattress, serving the community since 1936. World-class, local style. I'm Michael Carlisle from the 96.3 News Radio KKOB Traffic Center.
95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal, is sending you to Say Santa version 2.0, featuring Primus, Pussifer, and Perfect Circle, April 27th at the Isleta Amphitheater. Listen to Win Tickets on The Sports Animal and log on to livenation.com to purchase tickets.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
All right. Annie's first oil change wasn't as hard as she thought because she went to AutoZone, where a friendly AutoZoner helped her find the right oil and save on an oil filter. He explained the job and showed her free how-tos on AutoZone.com. When she was done, AutoZone recycled her old oil for free. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university
Carlos,
housing,
he
knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Weekends at Casino at the Downs has cash drawings 2 to 10 p.m., fantastic dining, live music and dancing, and watch your favorite sports in our lounge. Casino at the Downs, your home for winning entertainment. And be sure to check out the flea market and other Expo New Mexico events. The Crown Room inside
Carlos,
Casino at the Downs invites you to dine in elegance
26,
with exquisite menu selections,
somewhere
fine wines, and more. Enjoy the
now.
ambiance, including original paintings by Leroy Neal.
No, because we went back to the intro, it should come back to where we were originally, as this was the first break.
There's Elizabeth Banks here as the original latchkey kid.
Yes, correct.
All right,
Our
so
own hands. Like house
second
keys
break would be 26.
and video game control.
Yes, that's what it's looking like, yes.
Do it again because the recommended age to get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. We're at over 6 times greater risk compared to adults under 50. So go to vaxassist.com and schedule. Gen X, this is our shot. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZQuil nights. Explore our products at ZQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
With 2 games left in the play-in tournament, the NBA bracket is almost set. So is the NHL's. Playoffs start this weekend for both leagues. Who do you like Sunday on Tailgate Talk?
Oh, yes, sir. We about to make it hot up in here.
Welcome back to the program, Duke City. Welcome back to 2 Men On. Welcome back to 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. Your boy Van is here at Sadie's on 4th Street. After that first couple rounds of tech diffs, your boy needs a marg.
I thought you were going to go full Bill O'Reilly on me for a second.
We'll do it live. Bleep it. We'll do it live.
I don't know what that means.
Andy Lyman, newsman, is with us. He's a free agent.
Yeah.
He wants to report the news to you, Albuquerque.
I'm just going to go stand on the corner of the street like the newsie, like of the old days. Just extra.
Extra. Read all about it. We got a special story on Don Strader here, you see. Come grab a paper. It's a hot nickel.
Oh, man. Could you imagine if paper was a nickel?
Oh,
Nothing
man.
costs a nickel anymore.
People would read the paper.
Or they would buy it.
Yeah, they would buy the paper. Yeah, they would buy the paper and then like have it folded up calmly and respectfully in their arm. Like they would slide it in between their rib cage and bicep and walk around
walk
and like
briskly with their briefcase and their fedora.
And their fedora and their clip cloppy shoes on down the sidewalk in downtown Albuquerque. Because that's what smart people do, Andy. They read the paper. They stay informed.
Or they make it look like they're reading the paper.
They make it look like they're reading the paper, correct.
Hold it right side up. You're already one step ahead.
With you're obviously the expert on anything newspaper adjacent, past, history, present, and the future. I used to be a big crossword guy, Andy Lyman, and Wordle and connections and all the games that the New York Times runs on your cellular telephone.
The mini every day to see if I can get it under a minute.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
If I get over a minute, I'm just like, I don't even want to tell anybody.
I may never do another classic crossword again in my life because you got all the tech right there on your phone.
It's like the TikTok version of crosswords. So
exactly.
I can't be bothered to spend 30 minutes on a crossword. I need to do it in 58 seconds.
Zay Johnson, producer of this program, has been working so hard. We gave him the day off. Lucky for us, we got super producer Carlos Tenorio in the house. Carlos, thank you for putting all that effort in, all that elbow grease you got all over the studio and fixing those tech diffs. Really appreciate the effort, Carlos.
You know, it's only when I'm on this show that something happens on this end. It's seriously only when I'm producing that stuff like this happens. So, but yeah, happy to be here.
You know, it's not fair, Carlos, that the technology has to go through a update and reboot every time you're a one-off producer for this program.
If it's not a reboot, then it's something going on with Audition, the gigantic dinosaur. If you're friends of the show or watching on our multicast, there's a dinosaur back here. That it's something with that, or a lot of stuff goes on. Our technology is very out of date sometimes, but you know what? It's better than what some stations have, and we work great with what we have because we're the best radio station in Albuquerque still.
Hey,
that is Carlos, more than correct.
Carlos, I spotted you at the United game yesterday.
Man, yeah.
What a late night.
Yeah, it was a late night. For me, with that game, I was producing the Isotopes game here with Josh Hushan. It was a heck of a game. Sadly, the Topes lost. Ran through our post-game show and ended up at the New Mexico United game right after. Came in about the 90th minute. We don't want to talk about what happened after I showed up, but I was able to somehow make this.
That must have been a long commute for you to get from one to the other.
The drive from the station here downtown to the UNM soccer complex, it's about a 10-minute drive. So I left when it was about the 77th minute, got there about the 87th. So it was fun. It was I would love to do it again.
Carlos, you don't miss local sporting events unless you're forced to do something else. You're always there. You're a man of the people, Carlos.
Thank you. I try.
Was it a sombrero night or like a normal United hat night?
It was I got off of work, so I was wearing my Arsenal kit because earlier that day I had watched my Arsenal defeat Real Madrid in the Champions League. So I was at Tin Can Alley for that with friend of the show, David Weesey Carl, and then came straight to the station, produced some baseball, went straight there. So I was rocking my Isotopes hat and my Arsenal kit. So we showed up like that, which is a little out of character for me for sure.
Speaking of the Albuquerque Isotopes, big win today on a school day matinee. Had a lot of fun out there. Big bummer for me, Andy. I had to do a bunch of physical labor out in the wind today. I had to do some choring, and I missed another day game. So a new personal record of missing 2 straight day games.
It's like
I'm hurt deep.
I'm starting to think you don't actually want to go.
Now, first off, Andy, how dare you? I don't miss unless I have something very pressing, a very pressing matter. And today that was choring, but big win for the Isotopes. No Josh Sushan on today because, well, he did his due diligence today. We're going to give him the night off as well as Zay Johnson. We got Andy Lyman sitting in with us the first hour. Duke City Championship Wrestling's Saleh Taylor in the 5 o'clock hour. In the 6 o'clock hour, my co-host on the hit golf show, Filling the Holes, Max Machado, joins us. Andy, I'm not kicking you out. You can hang out all night if you want.
You got room.
Because we will be here all night at Sadie's on 4th Street, having a lot of fun with it. I'm due for a marg. Andy, you going to do beer today? You going to do a marg? You just going to go straight enchiladas? You doing tamales? What you thinking?
I think I got to have a beer, maybe some chips and salsa. That Sadie salsa, it's hard to say no to.
It's incredible. I'm a guac guy, so when I'm here, I do some guac.
Oh, yeah.
Because this place is so prolific, and their turnover is so crazy that they always have the freshest guac in town.
Same with sopapillas.
Yeah.
You always get a hot, piping fresh sopapilla.
The food does not sit around back there.
No.
They turn it over immediately here. Say, we'll be here till 7 o'clock. Got a full show. The aforementioned Albuquerque Isotopes had a school day matinee. That's always a fun one. And again, I hated missing it. So sorry, boys. Friends of the show, if you're out there scouring the crowd looking for me, I'm sorry there was no van today. But I have goals. I have aspirations, Andy Lyman. And I don't plan on missing another day game for the rest of the year.
That's part of your goal?
Yes.
All right.
Set a low bar.
We'll hold you accountable.
That's the key to happiness.
Yeah.
Yes.
That means everybody's got to be on van watch at the next every home game.
Keep me to it, by the way. Like a lot of friends of the show, a lot of community sponsors, a lot of partners. You know, you have my cellular telephone number. If you're at a day game, just WIA, all caps. Where you at?
Change that number.
And I will be there. I will tell you. I don't give it away on air, but too many people have my number. Let's be brutally honest here. In the news today, Aaron Rodgers needs to, I don't know, shut up.
Yeah.
I have hit my fill of Aaron Rodgers. And by the way, if you don't know, friend of the show, I am a 30-plus year Packer fan. If you don't know my National Football League fandom story, I grew up right outside of Houston, Texas, grew up an Oilers fan. They moved to Tennessee, ripped my heart out, and then I became a Packers fan because I heard they were owned by their fans, and that's the coolest thing I've ever heard in my life. And so I've been on a wild ride since then of excellent quarterback play, but the quarterback, Jordan Love notwithstanding, has been some level of dirtbag, some level of crazy, some level of annoying, some level of verbose, but always in the news and always putting themselves in the forefront of the media cycle. Dare I say, I finally, in this moment, am sick of covering Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, he's so. I'll choose my words carefully here
Please
because
do.
we're on the radio.
Yes,
but,
we are.
Smug.
Smug. Yeah.
Smug gentleman is a nice way to put it. But yeah, I'm just. He thinks very highly of himself, very clearly, and I mean he's a great player. Can't deny that. But I don't know. I'm a Seahawks fan. I remember back in the day when Marshawn Lynch was sort of playing his games and will he, won't he, and I'm like, just get rid of him. You know, like it's. I was thinking about this on the way over here. Look at what happened to Kaepernick, right? I mean, they were just like, we don't want to mess with this. But for some reason with Rodgers, it's like everybody will keep playing this game, this publicity stunt. I don't know. I'm over it too.
And historically, like I've enjoyed Aaron Rodgers' access to media and the way he treats media. He's just troll people, make fun of them, tell half truths. But ever since the COVID stuff, the darkness retreat stuff, the political RFK Jr. stuff, I'm like, why does this guy still have a microphone in his face?
Yeah, I rarely, if ever, make fun of somebody who uses psilocybin mushrooms for medicinal purposes, unless your name is Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
Then I'll make fun of you.
You're giving it a bad name.
Yeah. That's a hard thing to do, too.
Yeah. Psychedelic drugs, dare I say, can provide a valuable key to unlocking the culture of our society. I think it would make things better.
Makes me question,
but when he does it,
is it working?
not on him.
I don't think it's working.
Not on him.
Or he's making it up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's just a poser.
Yeah.
He's just a poser. By the way, I am not a doctor. I am not a psychiatrist. Do not take mental or physical health advice from me. I am what many refer to as an idiot. So I can provide perspective. I can give you a little my perspective of what I think the world looks like, my vision of what a healthy mind and body and soul looks like. But don't take medical or psychiatric advice from me, please and thank you.
Or Aaron Rodgers, for that matter.
Aaron Rodgers especially.
Yeah. I mean, even more than that. I don't know what he has against vaccines.
Apparently they cause autism, and apparently the vaccines gave him all the stuff.
Yeah.
They just chock full of the stuff.
The junk.
I got it just coursing through his veins. He has to do darkness retreat after darkness retreat, and he has to do, ayahuasca and mushrooms. You got to stare on a beach higher than giraffe chin.
Yeah, I think it's time for him to just whatever.
Gotcha.
Good luck, Pittsburgh.
Good luck, Pittsburgh. You need to avoid this at all costs.
Yeah.
I'm talking to you, Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm talking to you, Mike Tomlin.
Don't soil the good name of Mr. Fred Rodgers, also from Pittsburgh.
Oh, yes. Please don't do that. Leave the Rodgers love in Pittsburgh in the Fred category.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Who is by far the best Rodgers?
The superior Rodgers in this situation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Of course, Fred Rodgers, if you don't know, is Mr. Rodgers.
Yeah.
Mr. Rodgers. We need a lot more Mr. Rodgers in this world.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
I can't wait for him to go to the Canadian Football League. I think that's where he ends up, in Canada.
Or whatever the live version is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The Saudi Arabia NFL. He'll be like the first signing.
They already got baseball there too, so might as well have football.
I have a feeling he's going to have some strong opinions about playing in Saudi Arabia if that's where he heads. Just a hunch.
The astonishing lack of self-awareness. And again, like I said, I'm sick of talking about it, but yet here we are leading the show with it.
We got to get out of the way.
Because guess what? Guess what got the most clicks today? Guess what got the most interactions on the interwebs? The headline on every single website is this over and over and over again.
It's almost like the interviewer knew this was going to happen.
Like on the field stuff. Sure. He can still be a competent NFL quarterback, but he will ruin your team. He has been locker room cancer for the past decade.
This is what gets me is everyone's like, oh, the draft's next week and he's got is he? And of course he is.
Yes.
Of course he's going to do it.
By the way, join the boys one short week from today. We will be doing our show live from Hooters on San Mateo.
Ooh.
NFL draft talk all day. Gonna have a lot of fun guests. Come hang out with the boys, eat some chicken wings, make some oat sodas disappear. We're gonna have a lot of fun doing that at Hooters on San Mateo for the NFL draft. I think Aaron Rodgers is just gonna string this along for like one more week.
Yep.
Hold the Steelers hostage, make sure that they don't draft a quarterback, and then retire. That would be the most last-ditch effort Aaron Rodgers move I've ever heard of.
How he's what, 40, 41, 42, something like that?
Yes.
I mean, just go do your thing, man. Doesn't he have a reality show too? Or wasn't his brother on a reality show?
I mean, he needs his own like psychedelic drug podcast, and then go do a reality show, reunite with your family,
do a 3-hour long form Spotify interview podcasts.
Please, we don't need any more of those. Yeah. No, please, no. I mean, also his dude Mike McCarthy in Dallas, like if Dak Prescott goes down, you just bring in Aaron Rodgers week 4 or whatever.
Yeah. You mentioned the Packers, and I know they're completely different people, but I keep thinking about Brett Favre too, right?
Of course.
I feel like this got a lot of Brett Favre energy going on of like, is he going to retire? I don't know. What's he going to do? And what team is he going to go to next for the season and a half or whatever left in his career?
What, like one last dance?
Yeah.
With the Minnesota Vikings.
This is
collect all the Favre Infinity Stones.
Joe Montana to Kansas City vibe.
He's just got 3 more things to do to complete a full Favre.
Yeah.
Take the Vikings to the playoffs and lose.
Send an illicit picture.
And then steal from people in your home state.
There you go.
All right.
He's making it. He'll do it.
As a Packers fan, I have been so spoiled for the better part of 2 decades. But karma comes right back around, doesn't it?
Yeah.
For as good as they were on the field, boy, are they both garbage people. All right, we got it out of the way, Andy.
Done.
Ready?
Yep.
No more Aaron Rodgers talk for the rest of the program. Sports and sports-adjacent content coming your way after the station pays some bills. The boys are live at Sadie's on 4th Street, having a lot of fun with it. When we get back, I'll be sipping on a marg. You're listening to 2 Men On, 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This...
Welcome back to 95.9 FM AM 610, the sports animal.
Fred's not here.
Mrs. Torrance.
Co-host of this very program, Fred Slow, is in beautiful and historic Las Vegas, Nevada at WrestleMania 41. We got our WrestleMania recap coming up this Monday. I'm usually at WrestleMania with them. You know me, Andy, not the biggest wrestling fan, but your boy loves the spectacle. And there's hardly ever a spectacle bigger than WrestleMania.
It is the spectacle of the year, probably.
Catch up with us on Monday. We'll get our WrestleMania recap. Going to have a lot of fun with that. If you want to watch WrestleMania live, I'll tell you where to do it, and that is Uptown Sports Bar. And you could do that with me and Sally Taylor and the rest of Duke City Championship Wrestling, as we'll be having a watch party at Uptown Sports Bar, and you can watch WrestleMania, some fun giveaways. We'll be on the mic, and you can meet your favorite Duke City Championship wrestler. A lot of icons in Albuquerque in the wrestling world, but not a bigger icon, Andy Lyman, than our very own Don Schrader. Hobo Hank, legend. Don Schrader, upper echelon.
I don't think you'll ever get him in a ring.
No,
unless it's a ring to talk about anti-war stuff, or the benefits.
I'm anti-war.
The benefit. Well, hold on a second, because there's also the benefits.
Not the band. I love the band. I am pro-war.
Oh yeah.
When it comes to Lowrider and Cisco Kid and
the card game.
Why Can't We Be Friends? War is fun too. Yeah. Only for money.
Ooh, I don't think I've ever.
It's a
played
game
war
of
for
skill.
money. Yeah.
Don't tell me war is not a game of skill.
Yeah, I haven't been in touch with our good friend Don Schrader for a while. I'm overdue for a phone call. Since I stopped editing the paper, somebody else is getting those letters every week. So,
Andy Lyman, newsman, he'll tell stories for you. Andy, how do friends of the show, anyone in the community, get a hold of you?
Well, I've got a new project going on. It's called the Lesser Known New Mexico Podcast. Find us on, we haven't started posting anything yet, but we have a social media presence now, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, I believe. Yeah. Lesser Known New Mexico Podcast. And we'll get some interviews going here next couple weeks.
That's exciting.
Interesting folks.
The reason I bring up Don Schrader is, we live in the same neighborhood.
Yeah, you see him a lot.
I see him almost every day. Walking up and down Broadway, walking up and down Central. I'm not going to give you my exact location and or his, but we are neighbors and we're both downtowners.
Funny thing is he will give anybody his address. I don't give it out.
Sure.
But he's told me before, please tell me if anybody wants to come talk to me, tell them they can come, and as long as they're not going to hurt me or harm me. And I'm like, Don, I don't think I can guarantee that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But I think we were sitting right here at Sadie's one time, Van, and I think right after I'd written a story about Don, like right before I published it, you had seen him walking past your house, and you guys had a long conversation.
Yeah, had a long conversation about you, had a long conversation about life. I see him walking, and I'm, hey, Don. He's like, hey, Van. That's not how he talks, but that's what he says.
He's interesting cat. I think I told you this before. He eats like 12 apples a day.
Yeah.
I mean,
hopefully not the seeds, because there's arsenic in apple seeds, right?
Okay. I don't think he does, but who knows? He also, because he eats like a horse, basically, he fertilizes his own lawn too.
Yeah. That's he's got an insane amount of quirks. Like, if you don't know anything about Don Schrader, Burqueño, friend of the show, you're sleeping. Like, you need to find out about our boy. He's an Albuquerque icon.
Most people know him by seeing him, right? Like they can tell him by seeing him, but they don't know his name. He's the super tan, half naked guy.
Yes, he's wearing the cutoff short shorts. His skin looks like a catcher's mitt. And you did a story on him.
Yeah, a long one.
You did both.
I interviewed him on TV too. Yeah. I spent a total of probably 3 hours in his I'll say home. It's not quite. It's like the sun porch of a house, basically, that has sort of been built out a little bit. Good friend of his lets him use this sort of back room as his home. No bathroom. Probably has electricity, but that's about it. Just covered in windows. And then I got him on TV. I got him on public television, and I will tell you, it was a funny conversation with the producers on where are we going to put the lav mic.
Yes. Yeah. What do we clip it to?
Seattle Dan on the line.
505-246-0610. You got a hot take. We will let you air it on this very program. Sorry, it is loud here at Sadie's on 4th Street. Carlos, who do we got on the Sports Animal Hotline, and do they want to talk about Don Schrader?
Making his return to the program is Seattle Dan.
Seattle Dan.
A few takes a few days ago.
By God, that's Seattle Dan's music.
And he's on the air.
Seattle Dan, what's happening, my dude?
Hey, can y'all hear me okay?
I'm with you, brother. What's happening?
Hey, so I was going to call in, have a little conversation with Fred, and I took a little bit of heat for kind of jumping on Fred the other day, but I was doing it in jest because I know he's got thick skin and all of that. Like I said, I've been with you guys for a long time, man, since the Saturdays, but now he's not there today to accept my apology.
Well, let me give you some advice here. I think right now in this moment, you should pull a Conor McGregor and say, I'd like to take this time to apologize to bleep it nobody.
For nothing. I'm apologizing for nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's real, Fred. Hey, you know what, Fred? He does so much, man, and I know he's genuine, and he really, really cares and gives a you-know-what.
Sure.
And all of that is just fluff, man. And the reality of it is you guys are something else, man. I love your show. I love everything you guys do for the community, and I love his rhetoric. I really, really love that because I'm a little bit like I've got a little bit of Fred in me, you know what I mean? But, hey, you guys keep up the great work. I listen every day. I'm a huge supporter. Okay?
Hey, Dan, hold on 1 second while I got you.
I'm here, bro.
After your tirade yesterday on Fred, I got a text from an OG friend of the show, and it says, Dan is my favorite friend of the show. That was from my loving mother, Sandra K. Nunley. So you got a compliment from Mama Nunley, Dan. So if she likes you, you're doing something right, baby.
That is so cool, man. I accept it wholeheartedly. No, again, man, you guys are awesome. Keep up the great work. I love you.
All right, cheers. Love you too, Dan. Appreciate you a ton. The little segue
Howard,
there.
also on the line.
Okay, back-to-back friends of the show, from OG friend of the show, Dan, to OG friend of the show, Howard. What's on your mind, brother?
Well, you know what, Van? You should have told Dan. Apologies. Apology. Buy me a drink. That speaks greater than an apology. He's a fellow contractor friend of mine, and we just had a brief meeting over the electrical job he's going to be doing on a remodel for me, and he left with a sizable amount of money and some green, and he should have gone over and bought you guys some drinks.
Okay, well, now I take everything I said about Dan back. So give me all those compliments back.
Dan knows you're at Sadie's. He ought to be over there buying you a margarita.
Hey, we got a couple seats open at our table, and as always, friend of the show, you show up, you never been here before, first drinks on your boys.
Hey.
And you know, my construction office is literally about half a mile from Sadie's.
Well, we got one chair right next to me. I've been doing some choring today too, brother. I ran some conduit and pushed some wire through and covered a ditch and swirled up some concrete and filled in some foundation. Your boy was choring all day in that disgusting weather.
You better watch out. You don't want to say that too loud. Dan might send a city inspector over there and make sure you permitted that work.
It was a retaining wall from a wine cellar that was built in 1941. It's just rebar and a frame, baby.
Take it easy, guys.
All right, cheers.
I'm going to go rattle your cage.
Please do, man. We're out almost every day, man. You know where we're at. Thanks, Howard. Back-to-back calls from friends of the show derailed us from our Don Schrader conversation, so we're going to milk this for a couple more minutes.
That's right. Don's also a king of derailing conversations.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, he's about as verbose as it gets. That dude can go.
Yeah. Multiple times I've talked to him and just asked him a question. About 10 minutes later, he goes, "What did you ask me again?" Not whatever you answered.
I think he's an Albuquerque icon, and obviously no one's infallible. No one is without fault. He has his own quirks.
Sure.
He has his own unique perspectives on life. But Albuquerque isn't Albuquerque without Don Schrader walking around in short shorts and boots, pulling that suitcase.
I think he's surprisingly divisive too. I mean, there's lots of views that people have strong opinions on, and I don't have to get into all of them, but some people are like, they don't even know him. And they're like, he's our guy. We got to protect him. And other people are like, that guy's crazy. Don't listen to him.
Oh, why not both?
Yeah,
those aren't mutually exclusive.
I mean, yes, I can say the same thing about myself many times.
100%. Van's not for everybody.
Yeah.
But I got a pretty big Venn diagram crossover. More Andy Lyman, Carlos Tenorio, and Van Nunley live from Sadie's when we get back. You're listening to Two Men On, 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report.
West side on the ride, switching lanes, and that old school Chevy while I'm gripping brakes. Flip that bang, I try to tell him.
You're listening to Two Men On. You're listening to 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. You're listening to Van Nunley. You're listening to Andy Lyman. You're listening to Carlos Tenorio.
And if you're
5 o'clock hour, you're going to be listening.
Pay attention.
Yes, of course. 5 o'clock hour, you'll be listening to Sully Taylor. 6 o'clock hour, you'll be listening to Max Machado. Got a lot of fun guests here and having a lot of fun at Sadie's on 4th Street. Already got a marg in front of me. Already got some chips and salsa. I am living the high life right now. Carlos, on a scale of 10 to 10, how jealous are you?
20.
Oh my goodness, that's 10 plus 10.
It's been a week, and I didn't get to try a marg last time I was at Sadie's on 4th Street last Thursday. So we'll have to change that very soon.
I got an OG margarita right in front of me, but last week I had a watermelon cucumber. Ooh. It was fantastic.
It did look like you enjoyed that margarita.
I like kicking out the hits, though, so there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Talked a little bit about Don Schrader last segment. You had a great article and a great interview about Albuquerque legend Don Schrader. Andy, where can friends of the show find that?
The interview is at abq.news. That's the paper's website. The interview is still on YouTube. The TV interview, it's New Mexico PBS's YouTube channel. I don't know. Just got to Google it, man.
You can find it.
Yeah.
It's the first one that pops up.
Yeah.
Because I watched it. It was fantastic.
Google Don Schrader and filter by videos. It'll be right there.
Deion Sanders is trying to defend Colorado Buffalo's decision to retire the recently moving on to NFL Heisman Trophy winner Travis Hunter and his son, quarterback Shedeur Sanders. I can justify one of them. Guess which one?
The one not with the Sanders last name?
Yes. Only the second Heisman Trophy winner in Colorado history. You immediately retire that guy's number. They got both these guys got a lot going for them. Number one, Travis Hunter, one of two Heisman Trophy winners in Colorado Buffalo's history. Shedeur Sanders is also one of two, but he is one of two of Deion Sanders' sons that played for Colorado. I don't know if that's the biggest accomplishment. I mean, he had a losing record. He didn't win a bowl game. You didn't win a conference championship. You didn't set any school records unless you count like Instagram views. Like, I think that's all that he's got going.
Do you think he ever felt pressure to also play baseball simultaneously?
Hey, heavy lies the crown, dude.
You're like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear that you're tired.
Deion Sanders, my loser son, only plays one sport professionally. Like a dork. Carlos, can you justify Shedeur Sanders' jersey being retired?
No, not at all. I can't think of a person I've talked to about this that can justify that. The only excuse is he's the coach's kid. Is he going to be a top teacher's pet? He probably also played shortstop. Also in Little League, we all knew that one guy. But yes, is he going to be a top draft pick? Yes, there's no disputing that. But I'm sorry, that retiring a jersey after you get blown out by BYU in the Alamo Bowl.
Sure.
I mean, that's kind of sad. That's like if Nevada was to retire Colin Kaepernick's jersey after they got blown out by the Lobos in the New Mexico Bowl. Like, there's a time and place for this. I mean, I think he finished only 6 games above 500 as a quarterback. And correct me if I'm wrong. I probably am on that. But yeah, I mean, the love for CU in all sports because of Sanders it's not okay. Because yes, Travis Hunter deserves his jersey, but Shedeur, really? What are we just throwing average quarterbacks? In that case, have the Raiders retire Derek Carr's jersey at this point. Have the
his
Detroit
dad
Lions.
Didn't coach.
Yeah, yeah, exactly there. But yeah, there's no world where someone can justify this unless they're a CU lover. And even then, really, you're going to go, this is the hill you're going to die on, like General Custer, really? You're going to be by yourself on this hill in Boulder where no one wants to go to because of this now. I mean, go to as in the argument, but yeah, there's no way you can justify this in any world.
He was 1-8 against the Pac-12 in a losing season 2 years ago. Hasn't had a double-digit win season in his career at Colorado. Like, in no world should Shadur Sanders' jersey be retired.
What makes it worse is Deion Sanders it's got like an indignant attitude about this. Like, people are mad, and he's like, "Oh, you're only mad because it's my son." Well, yeah, we're mad because it's your son.
If his last name was Jones, if his last name was Smith, his jersey wouldn't be retired.
If you think it's justified, I would just leave it. Like, I think he's making it worse by trying to argue a point and saying people are not justified or their anger is not justified. Like, yeah, it is. Just say, like, I'm doing it. I'm not going to talk about it. Like, of course it's Deion Sanders, so we can't not talk about it, right? But like, just shut up.
I mean, are they going to retire the not famous defensive back son's jersey too? Like,
you're going to run.
How is that going to go over on Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Dad, why isn't mine up there? But his is.
No, first you didn't retire my jersey. Now I got to clean all the plates, Dad.
Whoa.
You gave him more turkey than me.
You know, it took ages for UNM to retire Brian Urlacher's jersey, right? I mean, it took about a decade after he had left the Lobos.
I mean, he at least had to start the NFL first, right?
Yeah. You know, he was an first-round draft pick, and still he waited until the 2010s, I believe, to retire his jersey. You know, like, what are we doing here? That's a local legend, and it took ages for his jersey to even be retired here.
1 hour in the books, 2 hours to go. Thank you, Andy Lyman, for hanging out with us in the first hour. You got some more time? You want to hang out some more?
Yeah, I'll hang out
some more?
Yeah.
You haven't even finished your little.
I gotta finish my.
You haven't finished your oat soda.
My soda.
We still got chips and salsa here to eat. 5 o'clock hour, we got Duke City Championship Wrestling. Saleh Taylor joining us on the program. Going to have a lot of fun with that. Sports and sports adjacent content coming your way. You're listening to Two Men On 95.9 FM AM 610, the Sports Animal. Fred's Neon City. He's our correspondent. He's our man in the streets for WrestleMania 41. We'll have our WrestleMania 41 recap coming up on Monday. If you want to watch WrestleMania, you can do that with myself and the rest of Duke City Championship Wrestling, and also rocking the mic. Guest on this program today, Sadie Taylor. Welcome back, my friend.
What is happening? What is good? Can you hear me?
We are doing so good. I'll apologize real quick again. Hey, let's try it again. On the program, Sadie Taylor.
Tasting, 1, 2.
Hey, baby doll.
Tasting.
Oh, there you are. Here we are.
Welcome. So Sadie Taylor, if you don't know Sadie Taylor,
the legend,
actor, musician, artist, tantric sexual prognosticator, but most importantly,
just an all-around nice guy.
Well, kind of the worst person. Kind of the worst person I know
in the best possible way.
Because he is Sadie Taylor, and he's also for sale at Duke City Championship Wrestling. You are one of the worst people, the worst wrestlers in the history of mankind. How do you pull it off, and how do you sleep at night, Sadie Taylor?
You know, like when they say you make things look, you know, when you're like, people say we make that look really easy. It's because it is. Yeah,
everything's easy.
Yeah.
You're just like holding all your anger and your like frustration and
to those moments. Yeah. It's one of those things where I wake up looking for a reason to make life easier for myself and just let out some anger, let out some energy.
You do make it look real easy when you're in the ring or when you're, you know, when the show's going on and you're like,
I appreciate
that guy's really easy to boo at.
It is, and I'm grateful. You know what? I'll take that too. It's a good day. I'm honored and blessed to be in the position I'm in because over a year ago I was not. So you know, DCCW has helped me out a lot with getting back on track and like in the fitness path, but also there's always room for growth. And I'm grateful for the opportunities with that. And I am honored and grateful to see y'all. And I'm really, really happy to be here. And, you know, hey, for those who don't know, it's WrestleMania week, baby.
Yes, it is.
It's a thing. And it's insane. All the content with everyone else that's like wrestling correlated, wrestling connected. It's out right now. Everyone's getting their shine. I'm celebrating all of them. Shout out to Oasis Pro. They just had their show in Vegas right now. It's a good day. Everyone's working except me.
I just realized you and Cena are now like kindred spirits, right?
You know what? I'm a lot closer to Cena than you guys are. You know,
because you're closer to the door. Because I'm sitting in the corner right now,
and no one could see me when I want them to.
No, they pretend not to look at you.
There's that too, you know, but
they're diverting their eye contact.
If you want to,
they
go
can still see you.
I think you can relate to this a lot, Van. If you want to go far in this business, you have to be delusional to a fault.
Oh, sure. Yes, absolutely. I mean, it's almost any career field.
Yeah.
But more importantly, ones in entertainment or like entertainment adjacent.
You got to have that you know, that what they call the Dunning-Kruger effect. Have you guys heard of that?
100%.
That the opposite of the imposter syndrome, right? Like,
yeah.
You got to have more confidence than you actually have ability to make it.
Yeah, fake it till you make it.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I might call it breaking the fourth wall. I think you would call it breaking kayfabe.
Yeah.
But real life, shoot in the wrestling world.
Yeah.
Shoot in the wrestling world. We're dear friends. You are a hyper talented dude. You do it all. You act. You play guitar. You can kind of just anything with a microphone or a camera. You've done it, and you've done it well.
Legally, yes.
Yes.
There's certain boundaries there that I have to enact. But no, you know, I'm grateful for the opportunity that's come. I like to weaponize my ADD.
Nice.
And one of the things people ask me, what don't I do? Apparently, it's make money. But I do everything else.
Same. Right. Same.
You know, like, it's just one of those things. But I love any time I get to do whatever it is I've been doing since I was a kid. And then when I get some change on it, I'm grateful for that even more so.
I mean, fortunately, a starving artist is sitting right next to me at one of the best restaurants in the history of Albuquerque, New Mexico. I got you, baby. I got you. You want some enchies? You want a tamale? You want a stuffed sopapilla? I got you.
Thank you.
All right, so if you want to hang out with Saleh, you want to meet him in person, you want to see how talented he is, how magnanimous, how electric he is in person, you could come meet Saleh, you could come meet me, you could come meet a lot of the faces, talent behind the scenes, behind the camera, behind the microphone at Uptown Sports Bar on Saturday for a WrestleMania viewing party. That's going to be a blast.
I still have to clear that with my people.
Okay.
We'll see. I know that my name is on the marquee for this, but you know what? I got people that I answer to, man. You know,
that would be a very for sale move, is you to be billed to show up to host a WrestleMania watch party and just ghost it. That would be fantastic.
Even better if you just went and sat at the bar and you're like, no, I'm not here for this.
I'm not here for
Yeah.
I'm just getting
It's like, no.
Don't talk to me.
Two different events.
just babying a Bud Light in the back.
Yeah.
It's like a baseball game on. The only screen that's just
Yeah.
baseball. He's like,
just
I'm
a piece of quiet.
trying to watch the Astros here.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, this is Marlins Pirates. What are you talking about? This is must-see TV.
Someone change that channel. There's a Baywatch channel for Samsung. Can you play that, please?
So, like an unknown thing about WrestleMania is every like mom and pop organization, your Duke City Championship Wrestlings of Las Vegas and surrounding areas, like they all flock to the city where WrestleMania is.
Yes.
And they put on shows. So it's like 4 straight days of 24 hours of wrestling, like anywhere you go. It's like when you go to Jazz Fest or some music festival,
Well said,
every single bar in town is going to be playing music.
Yes.
So when you go to WrestleMania, every single event space in town is going to have some sort of wrestling.
For those of you who are at Las Vegas right now, you could see some of our DCCW guys out there working, and there's other promotions that's like adjacent with a DCCW. Shout out to Devotion out there shout out to Phase One Pro. Shout out, like there's so many shows. I believe yesterday, the first wrestling show kicked off at 11 a.m.
Right.
And somewhere in Vegas, you could throw a chip anywhere, and like you're gonna see a wrestling show every hour on the hour. Haven't started yesterday in the morning. There's a wrestling show going on in Vegas right now. It's the mecca of wrestling, and anyone and everyone has a chance to get their shine, to get seen. That's awesome. I'm so excited for all the young talent who's out there, and also even the vets who are out there getting more reps out in the ring in front of a crowd that wants to see wrestling, or even those who just like stumbled in because they want to stay out of that heat. It is hot.
Yeah.
So we had our WrestleMania preview yesterday on this program because obviously, Fred had to split town. I desperately wanted to see WrestleMania in Las Vegas. I'm a fan of Vegas. Vegas goes hard. Everyone has a Vegas story. I got a couple of them, but lo and behold, responsibility took forefront, and here I am staying in Albuquerque to do
bless you for such.
some choring. But we did our WrestleMania preview yesterday, but I want to get your WrestleMania preview right now, Saleh.
All right.
What are some storylines that you're really excited to see?
Well, let's start with the obvious. I got family involved right now. So
Sure.
Everything involving them.
Because for friends of the show who don't know,
I'm related to
the bloodline.
Yes.
Jacob Fatu, Roman Reigns, the Usos, et cetera, et cetera.
If we want to get technical with him, Jacob's and the Usos' mothers are my mom's first cousins. They were raised as like sisters growing up and stuff. And Jacob was actually Jacob and his side were the ones that I grew up with on the West Coast. And also Rikishi, he grew up with my dad in the Bay Area. So like it ties to it from my mom and dad's side. We're just all connected. But I'm excited that this is Jacob Fatu's first WrestleMania. He's been part of the company over a year now, and he has a spot going for one of the titles. That is a fun story. Jacob and LA Knight having a great word of the, from war of words to the war of moves, man. Those two are going to go at it. It's going to be physical. It's going to be great. It's going to be a really, really great match. But I'm calling it now without any bias. Jacob walks out with the U.S. title. That is a big deal for us, for the family. That's a fun storyline that I'm excited to see come into fruition. You also have honestly the women's triple threat with Io Sky as well as Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair. Those three, Io, who just wants to let people know I'm still a good champion. I'm still a great, and she's an amazing champion. Great wrestler, great worker, great personality. Trying to remind people that I am here too. I'm still the champ. You still have to go through me. But Bianca and Rhea having some beef, that's a great thing to see and have that watch that come to fruition. And then you got Jade and Naomi going on, the whole thing with Naomi being the person who attacked Jade Cargill. I got love, Naomi, she married one of the Usos.
There you go. Bring it in.
Show love to Big Sis, man. We're really excited to see how she's doing, turning a new corner with her character work, and that's a beautiful thing. And then you got the big dogs, the grudge match with Roman Reigns and CM Punk and Seth Rollins, three guys who legit don't like each other.
Sure,
but they have a great business acumen. That they know that they can make money from this beef they got, but they don't like each other. But they'll make money together.
God, no
doubt. That's some of the things you have to do sometimes when it comes to it. Put aside whatever you got for the sake of business, and if it's good for you and good for business, that's just a bonus.
I'm a huge Jacob Fatu fan because before he got brought up to the WWE roster, his last show was here in Albuquerque with Duke City Championship Wrestling. And I had the good fortune to hang out with him a couple days, get to know him. And I like his personality. He's got a big heart. He can wrestle his ass off. He can do anything in the ring that a human being can do. But what I respect most about him, he's one of a very, very elite group of people who can outdrink me. So forever, he has a special place in my heart. So let's go Jacob Fatu this weekend, baby.
How about you, Andy? Anything you keeping an eye out right now for?
Not, I don't watch wrestling all that much. I get super excited when I go to DCCW, but I was surprised by that. I haven't watched wrestling really since I was a kid, but you get in it and I just keep thinking if I was in Vegas for that, probably because I love Vegas so much, I'd probably miss some matches for sure.
Oh, no doubt. Nothing wrong with that. No doubt.
I'm on a heater right now at the blackjack table. I can't go watch. Sorry.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a few wrestlers who misses a match because they're just heating up on the table, man.
For people who don't know, who aren't into wrestling, because I'm not a mark. I'm not the biggest wrestling fan in the world. I love the industry. I love the business. And, I'm the biggest homer for Duke City Championship Wrestling, obviously because of my co-host and dear friend Fred. So I support everything he does in the community. And, Duke City Championship Wrestling is just another chapter of cool stuff that happens from Talk ABQ and 2 Men On and all the ripple effects from all that. But you should watch WrestleMania.
Yes.
Not just because you're a wrestling fan, because it's like the Super Bowl. It's like the biggest weekend in sports entertainment all year. It's an absolute spectacle. They go hard. There is millions and millions and millions of dollars invested in this one event every weekend, and WWE crushes it every time. They do not fail. They do not mess up their big events. WrestleMania kills it every year. So even, friend of the show, if you're not the biggest fan of wrestling, be the biggest fan of sports entertainment, because no one does it like WWE.
Yeah.
Andy Lyman joining us for the first hour, sitting with us. You just wanted to meet Saleh in person, is what you told me during the commercial break.
I did.
He's like, he was gonna leave, but he's like, is Saleh coming?
I would go with that story, but we did call a match. We did call a match together one time at Duke City Championship Wrestling. he was nice enough to let me. I think he looked at me and said, "You ever called a wrestling match before?" And I said, "Nope." He said, "You know a lot about wrestling?" I said, "Nope." And he said, "You know how to be funny?" And I was like, "I can try." So I think I pulled it off.
It was great. It was a good call.
Yeah.
Andy Lyman, how do the friends of the show follow what you're doing and check out your upcoming podcast series?
Yeah, go search again. I can't remember the exact handle, but it's the internet. You just kind of type in some words. The Lesser Known New Mexico Podcast. It's kind of a mouthful, but it's a play on anybody know the Lesser Prairie Chicken? Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, familiar.
So that's our logo too. That's our mascot, the Lesser Prairie Chicken. But
that's a fantastic mascot.
Lesser Known New Mexico Podcast, and we'll be. I think our first episode will have Sergio Rivas from New Mexico United.
Okay, cool
he's our
dude.
First interview, yeah.
Andy Lyman, newsman.
Free agent newsman.
Thank you for being a friend, and thank you for being a friend of the show, and thanks for joining us today at Sadie's.
Hope to be back soon.
Yes, you will.
I got a whole lot of free time now.
Van Nunley, Saleh Taylor, and Carlos Tenorio hitting you with all the sports and sports-adjacent content. When we get back, you're listening to Two Men On, 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is brought to you by Jerry.
right, chips and salsa and guac. Saleh Taylor has yet to try the Sadie's chips and salsa.
Never heard of it.
Can you handle the heat, Saleh Taylor?
Can the heat handle Saleh? That's the question. But
Carlos Tenorio back at the studio. Carlos is obviously a Sadie's aficionado. Basically just grew up here.
Are you saying just because he has that mustache, that glorious mustache?
That comes from eating Sadie's.
Exactly. My dad always used to say it puts hair on your chest, but it went to my face. It went to my face.
That's a
and
high
I've had
chest.
this mustache since I was 12. So there's that. I originally grew up a Garcia's guy, but then I discovered Sadie's.
Wow.
And I've never gone back.
Really?
Now there's nothing wrong with Garcia's.
No, great.
They
place,
provide
but
a
it
good
ain't
service.
Sadie's.
They've been here in the Albuquerque area forever, but they're not Sadie's. They're not Sadie's. No one is Sadie's.
The sopapillas at Sadie's, for the longest time, I refused to believe it. And then I finally accepted into the holiness that is Sadie's. The best sopapillas in town. The tortillas are so fluffy. It's a great time at Sadie's.
My man Carlos. Hey, sign. I'll hit my friends up at Sadie's. You got to do a commercial for them because that was incredible.
Get an NIL deal with Sadie's. Yeah, they don't have Donovan Dan anymore, so they're open for NIL possibilities.
They are, yeah.
So I'm still in college, so NIL inquiries, please hit me up if you want to PA a guy to do an NIL deal with you.
You want a guy?
A PA guy.
Oh, okay,
address.
a PA.
Yeah,
Okay, never mind.
Come on, Van. That's what I'm doing tomorrow for the UNM spring game taking place at University Stadium tomorrow after the free kids clinic. With your UNM Lobo football team and Coach Eck tomorrow. So the kids clinic is free tomorrow. Check out UNM football social media for more information.
That's super cool. We are on board with that. If I wasn't double booked, I would be there shaking hands and kissing babies and helping children's. Maybe Nico Harrison was right, Carlos. Maybe he made the right decision because his Dallas Mavericks and Anthony Davis dominated the Sacramento Kings last night. Anthony Davis, 27 points, 9 rebounds, only 1 dime, only 1 steal, but 3 blocks and kind of dominated the paint the whole game. He didn't shoot as efficiently as he would have liked, but he was 3 for 6 from 3-point, 9 of 23 total. And Nico Harrison, dare I say, genius. He had it right the whole time. He's a criminal mastermind. Luka's overrated. He won this trade. Anthony Davis should obviously, after this win, be the unanimous MVP. Miss me with SGA. Miss me with Jokic. Anthony Davis for MVP and, dare I say, President of the United States.
Dare. As the great Gene Wilder once said in Mel Brooks' movie.
Blazing Saddles.
Blazing Saddles. There you go. Yeah.
Good form. Can you play this? Can you explain the playing tournament in wrestling terms? Why it's so important?
Okay.
Man, that's all you.
Okay. So allow me. I know less about wrestling than I do basketball. Let me take you down this journey, Sally.
Go on.
Okay, so you have the 6 best wrestlers.
All right.
Male or female? We'll do male because that's what I am. So let's say they are Cody Rhodes, John Cena, Roman Reigns. Oh God, CM Punk. Help me. Gunther and Jay Uso. Yeah, Cuzzo. And then you got the next 4. Okay. So those next 4 are Hobo Hank.
Yeah.
Saleh Taylor.
Oh no.
And Mr. Happy.
Okay.
And then Turbo Tony.
All right.
Okay. The 7th through 10th greatest wrestlers in the world.
All right.
Okay. So you, Saleh Taylor, have to go to the alley behind Frontier and wrestle Hobo Hank because obviously that's where he lives.
Home court advantage.
And he gets the home court advantage.
All right.
So the winner of Hobo Hank and Saleh Taylor get to have the honor of getting to skip out on John Cena, and then they get to wrestle Cody Rhodes. Still not ideal, but it's better than wrestling John Cena.
All right.
Okay. So that would be a 2 versus 7 matchup. Okay. Even though you lost, Saleh, that's okay.
I don't remember.
Hobo Hank he's gonna wrestle Cody Rhodes in the next round of this play-in tournament versus wrestling comparison that no one's ever asked me to do before, but here we are. And then, okay, the 9th and 10th. The 9th and 10th, greatest wrestlers in the world. Mr. Happy and
Turbo Tony.
Turbo Tony, thank you so
I got
much.
you.
Don't at me. Quit yelling at your radio, wrestling fans. So they will wrestle.
Yes.
And then, so Mr. Happy is ranked higher than Turbo Tony for some reason.
So he gets home court.
He gets
advantage.
home court advantage.
Right.
So they would be wrestling in the parking lot of Clown Dog, maybe, I
can see
think.
that.
Yeah. Outside of a Barnum and Bailey circus. I don't know. Some kid's birthday party,
Pop-up
wherever.
tent somewhere.
Wherever. It's so Mr. Happy would be hosting that one.
Yeah.
So the winner of that goes to your home turf, Saleh Taylor, which I'm assuming is a Hawaiian barbecue restaurant here.
L&L or Chemo's. We'll keep it local.
Sure.
We'll go to
One of
Chemo's.
those. Yeah, Chemo's. Yeah, we'll go to Chemo's. And then it's on your turf. And whoever wins that one is the 8th best wrestler in the world. And then they got to take on John Cena in the first round.
Okay.
So that is unpackaging the NBA play-in wrestling terms. Are we clear?
Yes.
Okay.
So the next question I have.
Okay.
I know that there's always been a discussion on having too many games in a season for teams. And like there are what's it called when players just like skip out on a low risk game.
Load management.
There we go.
Yes.
So does this add fire to that conversation that we have? Does this tournament add anything to the overall season, or does this tournament just like it's another little thing? Keep the competitive boys competitive, and then we're moving on. Trying to up some ratings.
So I'm not a fan of the NBA Cup in the middle of the season, which incorporates regular season games and one extra playoff game in the middle to be the mid-season champion. I'm not crazy about that. But I really like this play-in scenario because, number one, you added 2 games. It's a 1-game win-or-lose scenario, and it's your last chance to get into the playoffs. And, it's 7 seed and 8 seed aren't going to be super strong teams, and it's incredibly likely that they get dominated by the number 1 and number 2 seeds, but still you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah.
It has that air of an extra excitement for a 1-game play your way in playoff, and also that David versus Goliath in the next round. So I'm a fan. I like it.
Well, like as Americans, we're really privy and we really gravitate towards those underdog stories.
Yeah.
And we like who's that the Florida team that went far in the March Madness.
Right.
Like that was just a beautiful thing to see. But then we knew that eventually that the dance was going to be we'll call their song.
Sure.
Eventually. But that was fascinating to watch and people enjoy that. I really do appreciate you spending the last 8 minutes breaking it down to me in wrestling terms.
Well, I'll tell you what, baby. It's not my best work, but it's almost top shelf.
Good form, sir.
I will, when we go to commercial break here shortly, I will pat myself on the back.
As will I.
You're within arm distance. You can pat me.
I'll think about it now. Actually.
More sports and sports adjacent content. Saleh Taylor is in the house. We're at Sadie's on 4th Street. You're listening to 2 Men On 95.9 FM AM 610, the sports animal.
This report.
4th Street. Welcome back to 95.9 FM and AM 610 The Sports Animal. Welcome back to talkabq.com. Welcome back to the KNML app. Welcome back to the TuneIn app. Welcome back to Instagram Live. Welcome back to Facebook Live. Welcome back to YouTube Live. If you're listening in the future, welcome back to Spotify. Welcome back to Apple Podcasts. Welcome back to Spotify, Stitcher. However you consume this program, thank you for being a friend of the show. And thank you, Saleh Taylor, for joining us here at Sadie's on 4th Street.
I had nothing else to do.
Oh, excellent. That's for sale. That is not Saleh Taylor. Saleh Taylor is very nice. He is my friend. For sale, the wrestler at Duke City Championship Wrestling is the worst person on earth.
Thank you.
You deserve to be hated. Ashton Jeanty, #1 running back prospect in next Thursday's upcoming draft. By the way, you want to watch the draft and have a lot of fun doing it, join me and Fred at Hooters on San Mateo. We're going to be rocking and rolling with all of our hot takes on the NFL draft. I'm going to have a couple oat sodas with some friends of the show. That is for sure. Come join us and have fun again next Thursday at Hooters San Mateo. NFL draft party. Going to have a lot of fun.
Going to get yourself a few Daytonas while you're there?
I'm going to get something. Maybe a couple waitresses' phone numbers. Probably no chicken wings.
Everything but
everything
the thing that
everything but
for.
The thing that they're famous for.
You know,
#1 running back prospect Ashton Jeanty in an open letter to NFL GMs, quote, "I've taken the long way. I'm done with that way. If you pick me, it's simple. I'm coming to your franchise to do what Saquon and the Eagles just did. I'm coming to win big soon. It's tackle football. You know what I'm saying?" And this is the best part. I'd draft the guy that they can't tackle. Bow, 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 bow. Ashton Jeanty, you're a dude.
I think Ashton Jeanty is that dude. Is the dude.
So we were talking about it earlier. You have to have insane amounts of confidence and self-worth, and it borders on cockiness, right? It borders on some negative traits, but to get to this high level, you have to have confidence. You have to believe in yourself. And a lot of the times players will say something like,
it's just an honor to be drafted by this great franchise. I'm excited to go to work with my new teammates. I'm gonna give it 110%, and I can't wait to be a NFL football player.
I just want to say thank you for the phone call. This was the phone call I was waiting for my whole life, and I won't let you down, sir. I don't know. This is one of those. He's calling everyone out.
Yeah, he's setting an insanely high bar for himself. This is a self-inflicted precedent that only he can hurdle over.
Now, you said it earlier. When you have to be so confident, it borderlines on cockiness, but also a little bit of delusional. You got to find a good balance between the three of those.
Yeah.
For me, I'm one of those people that sometimes I have to fail my way up.
Sure.
I need to feel the new heat. I need to feel the new responsibilities so that I can rise to the occasion. I'm one of those people. This is one of those. He's telling everyone what he's capable of doing, which I've always think back on this, where I had a few cousins. I was there for their draft call and thinking, I'm the one for the, I'm going to be the one for the franchise. I'm going to be the one for the team. Like, there's so many other dudes that's been there way before, and like, who the hell is this kid walking in trying to take my job?
Yeah, who do you think you are, Rook?
Yeah, before you get to the, preseason, you got to go with the practice squad, man. Like you got to be delusional to a point where you're like, you know what? I'm going to put myself in a very uncomfortable position, but I'm going to be the one to rise above it and answer the call that I put out for myself.
Carlos Tenorio back at the studio. Do you think he set an unfair precedent for himself, or you think he's just a dog and he's feeling it?
Having seen that man play in the Mountain West Conference multiple times, he got that dog in him. And let me tell you, he's going to tear up the AFC West next year when he is on the Las Vegas Raiders, when they take him 6th overall. That's the swagger that the Raiders need, a type of player like that. And really, they need a running back anyway, so why not go with the best available? But, man, you love to see somebody who comes from a conference like the Mountain West. We've seen in the past with Jordan Love and Josh Allen. You know, they're happy to be there. You know, they come from a very small conference that people really don't pay attention to. Gentsy's coming from the same conference, and he has to have that confidence because no one watches, you know, no offense, Lobo fans that are going to come after me. No one watches the Mountain West on Saturdays unless your team is in the Mountain West. No one's tuning into New Mexico and, you know, Utah State last season in Utah State on Halloween weekend. No one's watching that. So, yes, I love this conference. I think this is great, and he's going to prove everyone, he's going to show everyone that he means everything in that letter when he's wearing the silver and black.
You know, we did get to see him a lot this year, and we probably were ahead of the schedule because him being in the Mountain West. Before it was national news, we knew how big of a dude he was playing in the Mountain West. But you, Carlos, are a Raiders fan, and was it the Raiders GM's son or grandson said, if you don't draft Ashton Jeanty at 6, I'm not part of your family anymore?
Well, if it's his grandson, that's concerning because he is very young.
Okay, so his son told him.
I would believe it would be his son, but you know he's smart. I mean, the Raiders were one of 2 teams that had their GM at the Boise State Pro Day, and also he's provided a lot of opportunities for his teammates on their pro days by having it the same day. So, but yeah, the Raiders, and I forgot what other team was there, were the only GMs present at the Boise State Pro Day a few days ago, according to BJ Rains, the beat reporter for Boise State Nation out there in Idaho.
Because you saw it last year in the NFL, like the last, 20-ish years, people have put less stock in a number 1 running back, and like running back by committee was the hotness forever. Like, look at the NFL last year. Ravens got Derrick Henry, playoffs. Texans got Joe Mixon, playoffs. Eagles got Saquon Barkley, won the Super Bowl. Like, number 1 running backs matter. Like Packers, they got a new running back. They went to the playoffs.
Jacobs.
Yeah, Josh Jacobs. They got a new running back. They went to the playoffs. Like, this matters. And I think Ashton Jeanty and like another handful of number 1 running backs coming out in the draft next year will prove that it's a important position on the field and it's not another throwaway position, because while there's a big clump of dudes in the middle, there's always those outliers that are game changers. And I think Ashton Jeanty is one of them. One more segment in the 5 o'clock hour with Sally Taylor, at least one more. The Sally Taylor of Duke City Championship Wrestling and everything else. We'll talk a little bit about what's going on in his world. Max Machado, my co-host of Dirty Boys Present Fill in the Holes, your favorite golf show, will be joining us in the 6 o'clock hour. Excited for that. Carlos Tenorio back at the studio. Zay gets a day off, and Fred is our correspondent out in the streets in Las Vegas, Nevada at WrestleMania 41. More sports talk when we get back. You're listening to 2 Men On 95.9 FM AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report.
Welcome back to the program, friends of the show. Welcome back to 2 Men On. Welcome back to 95.9 FM AM 610, the Sports Animal. And welcome back to Sadie's on 4th Street. The boys are sipping a marg here at the bar at Sadie's on 4th Street. I do this weird thing with classic margaritas. Tell me what you think, Sally, because you got one in front of you now.
Yes, I do.
I like an old school classic marg, but just the itty-bittiest dashes of OJ in it. I think it cuts that sourness, adds some mediocre sweetness, and just takes it to the next level.
I do enjoy things a little bit sweeter, and this is a great way to do it. If you want to play around with this and make it a bit, next level, you can. We call it a Cadillac when you add a little bit of a, more of a kick on top, orange liqueur on top.
505-246-0610. Hit us up on the Sports Animal Hotline. You got a hot take, we'll put you on. With us now, friend of the show, Wayne. What's happening, my dude?
Hey, that's kind of sacrilegious for a margarita. It's almost like getting Sprite to an old-fashioned, which I do.
Ooh, nice.
I'm with it.
But in instance, I had to vent out because as a Cowboy fan, they're not looking at Gentry at all, and I don't know who they're. The guys that are picking up their running back, they're getting him on. The last time the Cowboys drafted a running back, they went 13-3 and were the number 1 seed in the NFC, which was Ezekiel Elliott. And people, you're right. Like people knock about drafting high for running back, but every time you get a good running back and have a good running game, you take a lot of pressure off your quarterback. And people kind of I know that the NFL has got to a lot more of a passing friendly league, but it's still not. You still need to be balanced, and you can't be balanced with a bad running game. And I think that I know the Cowboys needed to draft a running back, but they're not going to. They're going to draft some dumb linemen. But I had to vent about this because I do not think it's happening. And the more and more you guys talk and the more and more I hear about it, it doesn't seem like that Gentry is going to be going there anytime soon. But maybe in 10 years when he's the end of his career, they'll be talking about him going to the Cowboys. That's the only time I'll probably hear about him going to the actual Cowboys.
Yeah, hard agree. I think anyone who doesn't need a quarterback or doesn't need a top-end pass rusher, Ashton Genty should be the first person off the board. He's a game changer. Look at the tape. And plus, he just said it himself. Thanks for the call, Wayne. Appreciate you, my dude. I mean, he just said it himself. It's called tackle football. You know what I'm saying? I'd draft the guy that they can't tackle. Not only is he a freak athlete, not only does he have an amazing tape to watch, he's got the swag. He's got the confidence. Yeah. He's got the moxie. He's got the chutzpah, Saleh Taylor.
He's got the mana.
Oh, it's the mana. Oh, that's PI?
That is, baby.
I like learning new PI things from you.
Now, it doesn't matter how good and how untouchable you are. If you don't have a good line in front of you to protect you, to open up a gap for you, you're going to get worn down. By the second quarter, you're an open target. You're just getting hurt. You're at risk of getting hurt. Now, how do you see wherever he's looking to be? Like, do they have a strong line, or are they just really going to be depending on this running back to just?
It's above average, but I think Ashton Genty's the type of guy who can make up for some deficits on your offensive line. He's just that good. He's just that dude. Like, take the best at a position. If you need a cornerback, and there's not a elite level cornerback, you're not doing yourself any favors. You're just taking a guy just to fill a position. Like, Ashton Genty is elite. Take the elite guy and then build around him. Find your other deficits. There's no team in the NFL that is 100% fortified, top to bottom, perfect in every way. The last team that was the Patriots, and they lost in the Super Bowl. So no team is perfect. No team is infallible. Get the best player. He's the best player.
No, I agree with you on that one. Yeah, why not?
Thanks for the call, Wayne. We appreciate you being a friend of the show. When we get back, we're going to talk a little bit about fandom. We're going to talk a little bit about perception. We're talking a little bit about naivete And we're going to be doing that with Sally Taylor and my co-host on Dirty Boys Present Fill in the Holes every Saturday morning on this very station, Max Machado. Talking sports fans when we get back. You're listening to Two Men On, 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. having a lot of fun here at Sadie. Sally Taylor is joining us. Max Machado joining us in the 6 o'clock hour. We will be having all of the fun. You can join us if you want. We're sipping marks. We're having delicious chips and salsa.
I'm going to send it to commercial.
Okay, we're going to go to commercial. We will be right back. to A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, P. We are back for more tech diffs here at Sadie's on 4th Street. Carlos Tenorio, cool under pressure. Nothing can faze him, especially random updates that happen in the middle of shows that kick us off the air and bring us right back. But we
be
are
like
back.
Mason Miller in the clutch, man. Got to be cool, calm, and collective like a closer.
Ooh. Okay. We're just going to talk Oakland, formerly Oakland Athletics, formerly Oakland Raiders on this program all day. Happy birthday, Carlos.
Thanks.
It's not your actual birthday.
21 finally.
But you are 21 though, so good for you.
Yes. Thank you.
Joining us on the program, Duke City Championship Wrestling's, just villainous, garbage person, loser, for sale, Saleh Taylor, and quite the opposite of Saleh Taylor, a lovely person, very nice, very respectful. You should give him all of your love and respect. Owner operator of Dirty's Golf Shop, but more importantly, my co-host on the weekend golf smash hit, Dirty Boys Present Fill in the Holes, every Saturday morning at 8 p.m. right here on the Sports Animal. You can catch it just like you can catch Two Men On, Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, SoundCloud. Check us out, Instagram Live. You get some cutting room floor, behind the scenes stuff. Dirty's Golf Shops, Max Machado. Welcome, my friend.
Hello, hello. Happy to be here. Proud friend of the show.
Yeah, baby. So Saleh Taylor, we were having this conversation off air, and I was like, la. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let's save this for on air. And you struck something that hit me deep in the heart of a sports fan.
Yes.
Because friend of the show, you know that I'm an actual sports fan. I'm not a diehard. I'm not going to kick my dog. I'm not going to be mean to my partner. I'm not going to, change the way I approach friendships with my friends and family. It's not going to affect my day-to-day baseline happiness and or hatred of life. I already hate life. Baseline, an athlete's not going to make it any worse for me. But Saleh, you had a really good point to where the NFL draft's coming up next week. And this topic transcends all sports.
Yes.
Whether you're a baseball dork like me, a wrestling dork like you, Saleh, a golf dork like you, Max, or anything, whatever your fandom is. These young athletes, using next Thursday's NFL draft as an example. By the way, the boys will be live from Hooters on San Mateo for the NFL draft. Going to do our program live from there and then have a fun little draft party afterwards. Come hang out with the boys. First one is on Fred. So NFL draft coming up, and people treat these young athletes like garbage. These are somewhere in between 19 and 23-year-olds, right? These are, in the eyes of the law, they're considered adults.
Yes.
But these are babies.
Yeah.
They have not had their heart broken. They haven't had to pay taxes yet. They've never had any kind of adversity in their life except for some shift manager at Kinko's yelling at them that he sucks. That's their first time experiencing adversity. Hey.
Or an English teacher telling them to read out loud.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, you think these guys got to go to class? Saleh, come on, dude. Come on.
So as you're bringing it up, I'm going to let you finish your point. I also have a background in academia.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a point where during orientation for all the incoming faculty that's coming in, that was very redundant. One of the biggest things they talk about in this orientation is for those of you who will have student athletes, mind you, doesn't matter what they look like. These are still the minds of children.
Yes.
That's all of that package that they're coming in. It's still a mind of a child. So mind how you interact with them and be aware of how you talk about all of the students in general. But it's a special thing when you keep talking about a lot of the incoming faculty and all that stuff. They're like, oh my gosh, did you see that? I was like, yeah, that's a child. That's a young person, young mentality. That's and now as you're getting ready to walk into the draft, that continuing on your point, a lot of these people are getting ready to walk into more money than they've ever dreamed of.
Yeah.
and there's some growing up they got to do, and you see a lot of the learning curve, man. But yeah, continue how you're saying, man. You're bringing.
I think you unpackaged it really well too. Sorry, I didn't want to cut you off either, Max. But like, keep in mind, like these professional athletes, like we're using an example of young men, which I think still teenagers, still relatively babies, and the whole human experience. They're coming into this league, like you said, to make ungodly amounts of money. They're the best of the best of the best.
Mm-hmm.
The worst player in the NFL will go to your YMCA and crush you. The worst guy, like you saw it with
White Mamba,
right? White Mamba, like Brian Scalabrine, like pros versus Joes. Like whoever the best amateur player in the world is, can't sniff a jockstrap in a NBA locker room, an NFL locker room, MLB dugout, whatever. Like they are upper echelon. And first, like talking about the NFL draft specifically, they're somewhere in between 19 to 22, 23 years old.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're 27 or 28 if they're from Utah. But they're like, this is the biggest moment in their life. This is the biggest moment in their life. And you're going to ruin that day for them. You're going to ruin that day for their family by booing them. They're children.
Yes.
Like, for example, Max, we saw the young golfer last week at the Masters shoot a 18 over on day one.
Nick Dunlap.
Nick Dunlap. You think people were there, boo, you suck, golf child? Like, no, be a grown-up.
Yeah, and in fact, like, the way he handled that situation was, like, extremely mature, and he got a lot of props for it, right? So I think a big issue stems from, like, fantasy sports, right?
Yeah.
And now we look at football players or, you know, athletes specifically as like they're just a stat line. Like,
yeah.
And it's all about like in sports betting, all of these things I feel like add up to dehumanizing the athletes. And when you dehumanize them, then like you don't think about the things that we're bringing up, right? Like that's another. Underneath that helmet is a human being.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it's a young, immature human being who is going to make bad decisions just like we all did at that age. It's a miracle that they can like hold it together at all with millions of dollars. And, you know,
I do insanely stupid things when I find $5 in my pocket. I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Imagine adding a few zeros behind that.
Yeah.
It's going to get worse.
If you gave 19-year-old Van $20 million, there wouldn't be a 20-year-old Van because I would be very much dead and or in jail. It is fortunate that I did not have access to those kind of resources. But here they are about to have a life-changing amount of money for themselves and their family and everyone they care about. Hopefully they saw – you know, the 30 for 30 broke or whatever, when people lose all their money, just lose everything. Hopefully they learn lessons from the people that came before them. But these are children.
Yeah.
They're not even done growing as human beings. They're fontanelles on the top of their head probably haven't even hardened all the way. Like, take it easy on these children. They don't know anything yet.
They've been really harsh on these kids. I'll call them kids. I'm old enough to call them kids.
Sure. Yeah, whippersnapper.
Just even like things they say, right, in these press conferences or after workouts and stuff. And it's like, dude, if anything I said was recorded at that age, I would sound so foolish. I would sound so arrogant, whatever. You know what I mean? You could break it down however you want to break it down.
Mm-hmm.
Really, truly, like.
Who was it? The closer for my beloved Astros, Josh Hader, got into a bunch of trouble for in like expletive laced tirades on Twitter, where he said some wildly inappropriate things about people of color and women. He got doxxed. People were sending him hate mail. People were bombarding his social media, telling how big of a garbage person he was. And he was 16 quoting rap lyrics. Like, pump the brakes, sports fan. You need to chill out. Like, these are kids. Like, we started off this show today talking smack about Aaron Rodgers. Like, just shut up and go away, dude. We're sick of you. Like, we've had enough. The news cycle is done with you. That's fine. He's a 40-year-old man. He purposefully puts himself in the spotlight.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
Don't boo some kid at the NFL draft while he's getting a hug from his mother. That's pathetic.
You gotta. It's trying to, like, I've been present to a lot of these moments where I've seen people who are very passionate about a team. Cool, yeah, like your day is dependent on how your team does. I love the passion behind that. That's a beautiful thing because there's a lot of it goes back to like my father's, having memories of just like we sat down when you had to turn the dial on the TV and all that stuff and all the many channels and stuff. That's cool. That's great. But then when you are taken away from the humanity, I love how you said this, Max, when you're like, people hide behind the stat lines and just go in on this. I defy anyone who's had social media for more than 10 years. Go back and see what you posted.
Sure.
Compare that to now. And if you're not cringing, you're not really reading the thing.
Right. 100% agree.
Like
Albuquerque's own Alex Bregman, who betrayed me and my beloved Houston baseball Astros. Again, don't care. But let's take him for an example. Albuquerque's own Alex Bregman just had a baby, playing for the Red Sox, took three games off for paternity leave. There's some Red Sox fan who's sneaking into his DMs. So, Alex Bregman's gay. Why? Get up, hey, you're a baseball player. Get back on the field, Bregman. You don't need to see your baby born. Like, there's some Red Sox fan who is using that logic right now. He wants to have a special moment with his wife and family and greet his new child into the world. Sports is entertainment, y'all. Again, Alex Bregman's an adult. He's not without fault, blah, blah, blah. But again, for the specific example of like young wrestlers, like how many wrestlers have you mentored, Saleh, where you're like, oh, you have no idea what you're doing. Like, oh, your brain hasn't even hardened on the front. Like, yeah.
You're taking another chair shot to the head. Oh,
oh no.
You really want to do that. You want to keep doing that. Someone's walking around right now with a T-shirt with all the wrestlers' DUI photos right now. Someone's walking around with all of that.
Yeah, and it's hard. Think about yourself, right? Would you want your picture on that T-shirt if you made a mistake, right? Like, you would think differently, right? You go, wait, no. If it was me, bro, like, you don't understand the situation. You're not giving athletes that same grace that you would give yourself, right? Like, and it all, again, I think it all stems just from like the dehumanizing of athletes.
Yeah. Sure.
It's so easy to watch a YouTube highlight package and you go, that guy's a bum. And like just completely dismiss his life's work, right? Like, this is a man's or woman's like craft that they've dedicated their whole life to. Even if they're 19 years old, they've probably been doing it for 15 years already?
Right, for sure.
And that's all they've done. That's all they've sacrificed. Yeah. And so, like, you can see it in all kinds of sports. When you've dedicated that much to your sport, you're going to be deficient in other areas, immature in other areas, right? Like, socially, emotionally.
Sure.
And like, I think we're doing better with mental health. At least it's like a topic on the table, and athletes can kind of at least explain what they're faced against. And I think it's our job in the media to help bolster that, right? And be understanding and not completely destroy people who play these sports.
100%. Carlos, you just turned 21. And dare I say, you are, for everything I know so far, a wonderful human being. You got your head on your shoulders. You don't seem like the people that I sit in my rocking chair on my front porch and talk bad about. You're a lovely young man. What's the pulse of your generation when it comes to like this intense fandom where you're willing to like just disintegrate somebody's character because they made an error in a baseball game?
Yeah, you guys brought this up. One example comes to mind. My beloved Arsenal Football Club advancing to the Champions League semifinals yesterday. And a big part of that was a gentleman by the name of Bukayo Saka.
Bless you.
Lovely. Thank you. Great footballer. When he was, I want to say 4 years ago, played for England in the last Euros before this last one. And they're in the final against Italy, and Bukayo Saka misses a penalty. And Italy goes on and wins the Euros. Well, Bukayo Saka is now public enemy number one. He's about my age when this happens and receiving ungodly things said to him in his comment section, in his DMs, to the point where, English police had to get involved in it.
Ugh.
And there's no point for that in sports. Last night, New Mexico United gets knocked out of the U.S. Open Cup, sadly, by the El Paso Locomotive. Our goalkeeper, Chris Shakes, also a young guy, just graduated a few years ago, worked his butt off to, one, become a professional athlete, and two, start a match. It's hard to start over Alex Tambakis for New Mexico United. And United loses 4-1 on penalties. Chris Shakes guessed right on every single one, got a hand on a few. For the people that are dogging on Chris Shakes for what he did yesterday, I have a lot of questions to raise for you and ask you kindly to leave the New Mexico United fandom. Simply for the fact that after the match, Chris Shakes was visibly emotional and upset with himself. These are humans. And I think a big part of that has to do, too, with fantasy football, as we brought up these fantasy sports. Certainly betting and gambling a lot during the NCAA tournament. There was the commercial that was aired pretty much saying that if you're going to ruin a college athlete's day because you lost your parlay, you're a loser. That's what the commercial said.
It's never been more true.
And it's so true because, yes, it's okay to be frustrated. When Lobos got bounced in the Mountain West tournament by Boise State, I was very upset. I don't know, but I didn't let that ruin my time in Vegas as a 21-year-old. I'm out there with my girlfriend and friends. Yeah, it sucked. But also at the same time, like these are my classmates. I see these guys walking around campus, and I'm gonna, again, Lobo fans are gonna come at me for this, but Lobo Twitter is very notorious for this, and Lobo fan is very notorious for this, for calling out a guy like Donovan Dent, who had not his best game against Michigan State. This man led us to this point. Right. I see this guy on campus. I see him working out, a lot of the days in the pit. It's so frustrating because people that don't know will never know, and they'll never understand. It sucks because there's these expectations, and that's understandable, but at the same time, they're human. There's a great Ted Lasso episode about this, and I highly recommend people go watch it. But
first off, if you haven't seen Ted Lasso,
what are we doing? Go watch that.
Drop what you're doing. It's incredible.
Just joke. Yeah, it's great. And mental health in sports is important. On all capacities, because you're on the road a lot as a professional athlete. Whether you're baseball, basketball, hockey, whatever, you're on the road a lot of the time during your season.
Oh yeah.
And Jaron Duran of the Boston Red Sox recently came out with his struggles about mental health in the Netflix documentary with the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah.
It's stuff that you don't see behind closed doors. Like, these are humans, folks. And at the end of the day, if you're attacking a college player, attacking a young player, you're attacking an athlete, you really got to chickadee check yourself before you wiggity wreck yourself on that end. That's my 2 cents.
Okay. That was well spoken. That was heartfelt. It was logical. It was reasonable. But you're going to end it with chickadee check yourself before you riggedy wreck yourself.
Yeah, we can't be all too serious. You need a
little more Mason Miller in your life. You need to be more
yes, I do.
I might be able to add some sugar on top of this, actually.
I'll tell you what, Saleh, why don't we do that when we get back? Because I want to keep this conversation going. Also, I want to dip my toe into what's going on in the golf world and give you a little taste of what we do on Filling the Holes. And I want Saleh to tell you why you should be watching WrestleMania this weekend, and we'll do that when we get back. Also, I was going to say goodbye to you, Saleh, but Seahawk Dan came by and bought us around a Margs. I guess he had another appointment to go to and couldn't wait till a commercial break to say hi. But thanks, Dan. I will drink this. More sports talk when we get back. You listen to 2 Men On, 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. Welcome back to the program, friends of the show. Welcome back to Two Men On. You're listening to 95.9 FM AM 610, the Sports Animal. But you knew that already. You know where you are. You know what you're listening to. I don't got to tell you what you do. You're a grown-up. Unlike the people we're talking about right now who are young athletes. Just because they get paid, Max Machado of Dirty Boys Present Fill in the Holes and Dirty's Golf Shop on San Mateo. Just because they get paid does not give you the right to be some epic douche.
Maybe it should, though. But it should come with conditions.
All right, I like this.
If you want to be an epic douche,
okay.
In return, I think that athlete gets to come to your job and boo your performance if he so chooses.
Oh my God, that's incredible.
So if you want to hate on Donovan Dent, then that's fine. But you are accepting the terms and conditions that Donovan Dent gets to come to your job and boo you if you underperform.
Yeah, he gets to go grab his megaphone and he gets to go do the night shift at Arby's and yell at you, Rick.
You call that a sandwich? You
Slice
call that
it.
a sandwich?
Slice it thinner.
I've seen better slices from Walmart.
I think this at least brings balance to the equation.
100%.
Right? Like, and then it takes a little bit of the anonymity of being a fan away, right? You can just shout from a crowd anything you want.
Yeah.
Right? But like, you wouldn't say it to their face, or you wouldn't say it if you were on the same side of the guardrail, right? So, I don't know. Let's make it fair. Let's put a guardrail up at your job, and then, you know, let the whatever team come over there and heckle you, and watch you see how you handle it.
Yeah, and by the way, you're in a modern stadium. You're in a modern arena. You're at a modern park in 2025. You're on camera, dude. Whether it's somebody else's cell phone or security cameras or the actual broadcast, like, you're gonna get doxxed. How openly would people have treated Jackie Robinson if they knew they were on camera? Yeah, okay. You got a camera in your face. You're going to say that? Mason Pennyweather III in Brooklyn, New York in 1947? No, you're not, dude. You're not, because you're a coward.
Yeah, I think, do you want, is this what you want to like go down for too? There's a lot of hills to die on, like making some terrible comment about a rookie athlete is a really bad way to ruin your life when you could have just been quiet.
Again, we do this a lot on this program, but we wait till we have concrete evidence. We wait until the data is correct. We have ran people through the muck and the mire on this program often. We don't do it to kids. We don't do it to high school athletes. We don't do it to young teenage student athletes. Like, if you're an absolute grown-up and you show your ass to the world, like, we'll run you through the ringer on this program. But what you shouldn't do is somebody's performance, or like the way we started this conversation, the NFL draft. Boo! I wanted the Samuel Stevenson from Wake Forest. Boo! This is the biggest day of their life. Don't boo someone while they're getting hugs from their mother. Also, another thank you to Seahawk Dan for this round of margaritas. It was nice meeting you in person. Come back when we're not on air.
We love Seahawks, baby. Shout out to Seahawks.
So, Sally, you had a point before you walked away to go take some selfies with some fans at Duke City Championship Wrestling.
Very sweet people, by the way. Yeah, surprising for my fans. As we're talking about grace, it's a beautiful thing, and the most beautiful thing about grace is we don't deserve it, and yet we still give it.
Sure.
And I'd say in grace, I love your point of not to kids,
yeah,
you know, and being wary of performance, because heaven forbid one of these athletes coming into your job and do the job better than you or worse.
Yeah.
But it's a different skill set. But having a sports analyst or a job as you have your own analysts, your own progress reports, people critiquing your work at work, at home, and going in unnecessarily just too harsh or anything. Like it's be graceful.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, to me, it's a simple solution. Whenever you want to yell at some, come on, we'll be honest, eyes of the law, they're adults, but they're children. They got kids' brains. They still got kids' brains. If you're going to yell at children, you should be able to face consequences. I think there's a point in time in your fandom where you can be able to chastise adults. Once you got some crow's feet,
yeah.
Once you got some smile lines, once you got a few gray hairs, once you got a family, once you've had some life disappointments, once you've been seasoned a little bit in the ways of world, then may you criticize somebody. But again, these are kids.
Every promotion you've gotten, you weren't killing it immediately.
Yeah,
and these are young people whose lives are in the public light, and grace, a little bit of grace goes a long way. And saying all of that to say this, Coach Richard Pitino he's innocent. He did nothing wrong. He deserves all the success that he gets. I wish him well.
Yeah,
amen.
Don't you want a promotion? Why are you mad at this guy from getting? He got more money. He got closer to home. He's in a air quotes better league. Yeah. So what? He used you as a catapult.
We were used as leverage. It's okay.
With all those wonderful and true and heartfelt things being said, if you want to boo your team's pick next Thursday at Hooters on San Mateo, that's the place to be. Come hang out with the boys for our NFL draft special. The first one is on us. The second one is, well, it's on you. When we get back, I want to unpackage a really cool storyline in the golf world with Max Machado. Saleh Taylor here, Carlos Tenorio back at the studio. I am Van Nunley, and Fred Slow is in Vegas for WrestleMania. Our WrestleMania special, our WrestleMania recap, will be this coming Monday. If you want to watch WrestleMania live with me and some of the talent and behind-the-scenes people from Duke City Championship Wrestling, you can do that at Uptown Sports Bar this Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, I'm hosting. Sunday, Saleh is hosting.
Maybe.
We're going to have a lot of fun there. Maybe. When we get back, a little bit of golf talk. You're listening to Two Men On, 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. Fourth Street. I got some buddies sitting at the table. Duke City Championship Wrestling's Saleh Taylor, Dirty Golf Shop, and my co-host on Filling the Holes, talking some golf, Max Machado, Carlos Tenorio back at the studio, Fred Slow in Las Vegas for WrestleMania. Unpackage all that next week. Bet we have some stories about that weekend. Max, we're a few days removed from the results of the Masters.
Yeah.
Rory finally got that ghost out the bag, got that monkey off his back. He was the Masters champion, career Grand Slam. Now that we're a few days removed from it, what was your initial reaction and how are you looking at his accomplishment now?
Okay, so if you are a fan of our show on the weekends, you will know that I'm not the biggest fan of Rory McIlroy, right? I've actually probably been more critical of him than probably any other golfer on our show.
Hard agree.
If you want my personal opinion, I think he's a weenie. I've criticized
Sure.
I've criticized him for being mentally weak.
Correct.
If you don't mind me asking,
Sure.
like, I would love to elaborate on this. Like, how do you like mental fortitude on golf? How does that show?
Man, okay, I think it's Rory's a perfect example, right? Like, he has put himself in the clutch moments to win big stuff recently, and then hasn't just like hammered it through, right?
You can
Like,
use the word choke. Like he's choked away a lot of
it-
tournaments.
got
The
it
biggest
all
tournaments.
The U.S. Open last year was a big one.
He plays tennis too? Wow.
But then, he lost and then didn't talk to the media, drove off, just things like that, right?
Wow.
Like, and that doesn't sit right in my book, not just because I'm a member of the media here, but because, like, you just got to be graceful in defeat, right? Just to say
well said.
graceful is the kind of the overall theme here, right? To get back to the subject, Rory got it done.
You got it done.
Got it done.
Yeah.
But man, this was the shakiest I've seen a Grand Slam caliber athlete get it done.
Yeah.
I know that's probably sounds super hater because he's one of 6 golfers to ever accomplish this. I do not want to take that away from him, but the others, when they had the moment, they like seized it. Rory seemed like he tried to do everything he could to lose that tournament.
He tried from the beginning.
Yeah. So
from the first hole on Sunday,
it was
like
rad.
an immediate double bogey.
It just, that is so coming from the Tiger Woods generation. Like, Tiger Woods is in that position.
Yeah.
Tiger Woods wins that tournament by 7 shots.
Sure.
He puts the pedal down. He never lets off. No one catches him.
Sure.
Last week's Masters made for so much more drama, so much more entertainment. There were 6 guys in the last hour that was like, oh, this guy might win.
Yeah.
Wow.
This, Patrick Reed holes out, and you're like, oh no, like the great villain of golf might actually pull this off.
Correct.
Justin Rose gets it done. Birdie's 18. Rory stuffs it in there. It's one of the most miraculous shots I've ever seen on 15.
Yeah.
Misses the putt.
Yeah.
Gets, got the 1-shot lead going up 18. Hits it in the bunker. Gets the bunker shot to within like pretty makeable distance. Misses the putt. It was just like, oh man, like I just don't see Nicholas. I don't see Palmer. I don't see Tiger. I don't see these other guys like capping off their grand accomplishment that way.
Right.
He
with
almost
with a whimper.
Yeah,
With
he
like,
almost got it done with
woo!
brute force, and like he was putting so bad that he got in that playoff hole and was just like, I can't putt. I got to hit it close enough.
Exactly.
To
and
where
he stuck it within 3 feet.
and he did it, and he pulled it off. And Rose had a chance to tie him, and he just didn't quite get it done.
Yeah.
But like, I think that goes a hole or two more, and completely different outcome. And then completely different outcome, arguably maybe for Rory McIlroy's entire life.
Career. Yeah.
Career.
Everything. Yeah. It's like, oh, you did it again.
Exactly. He
Again?
couldn't handle it up until this point.
You mentioned Tiger Woods, and that's kind of why I brought this up in the first place, is because they've been in the spotlight. So, side note, real quick aside, for me, it was hard to see Rory's douche turn, not really a heel turn like in wrestling, Sully, like a douche turn, because he was like the fun, happy-go-lucky Irishman who was smiling on the course and having fun, and he reached a certain level of excellence, and he turned awful. Like, he sucks. Like, just a couple weeks ago, we ripped the kid's phone out of his hand and gave it to security. That's soft. That's like that's like 6,000 thread count sheet soft. Incredibly soft.
And that was I will still stick to my guns. That was a great chirp that guy made.
It was incredible.
It should not have been removed
Incredible
solely
chirp.
on merit of how good the chirp was.
By the way, friend of the show, if you're enjoying this conversation between me and Max, we do it every Saturday morning at 8 on this very station. Dirty Boys present Fill in the Holes. If you can't catch it live, just like 2 Men On, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, however you get your podcasts, we're on it. So the reason I brought this up is Tiger Woods, since he was a baby, been in the spotlight. Rory McIlroy, since he was a baby, been on the spotlight. I mean, Tiger Woods was chipping and putting on Johnny Carson. Like, Rory McIlroy was chipping and putting into the washing machine on whatever Northern Ireland's Johnny Carson is. They've had the weight of the world on their shoulders, but they went in exact opposite directions. Tiger Woods embraced the pressure and excelled. Rory McIlroy kind of just cruised. He was just like, you know what? I'm a good golfer. I'm not going to be that kind of golfer. And it took him 15 years to do what Tiger Woods did in 2.5.
Yeah, all the other Grand Slam guys, it only took him 3 or 4 times at the Masters.
Yeah.
It took Rory, since, that was the last one to get. I think it took him 11 years.
11 years. Yeah. Wow. 11 years, 12 Masters tournaments. Yeah.
So, all right. I have to be graceful. Right?
Of course.
He is a grown man.
He's a grown man.
He's grown man.
No, he grown. He can get it. Yeah.
But also, congrats. That is a huge thing. I didn't know if we would see another one in our lifetime after Tiger Woods.
Right.
So, tremendous props to him. If I could be critical, I think he could have been done in a little bit more dominant way.
Sure.
But hey, he got there. He accomplished it. Again, something only 6 people in the world. More people have been on the moon than have accomplished this in golf.
Yeah.
Katy Perry came back from space.
There you go.
In the amount of time it took for him to get this. So it's kind of funny, like from the outside on golf. I've been golfing a few times. I'm horrible, but I love it. It's fun. It's so nuanced. The whole, like, you gotta align you gotta find balance with your mental, physical, spiritual being. Like, I remember I was just what's it called, hooking it or slicing it. The pro walked over, like, hey man, you okay? Like, is everything okay in your life? Like, you're hit, but like something's off, bud. I was like, oh man, like my family, blah blah blah. All right, hey, let's breathe. Do you want me to pray for you, bro? After that, I was getting it, bro. It's like a prayer.
It is, dude.
Forget getting lessons from Jay Choi at Clubhouse 1-8. Just like you just need a golf whisperer to come in and talk about your family.
Yeah, a therapist, a golf therapist, bro. Like,
truly though, it is, and Rory is a great example of it. It's arguably just as much mental as it is physical, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's insane thing that sounds like something was just off.
Yeah,
either that or like the first sign of trouble. Like, he just like, I'm not. I don't want to do this. I want to get out of here.
Get your golf talk from myself, Max Machado, and Jay Choi every Saturday morning right here on the Sports Animal. Dirty Boys present Fill in the Holes. You can't catch us live, like I just said. Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, SoundCloud, wherever you get your podcast, we're on it talking golf. Sally Taylor, what is the hotness in your life right now besides being the evil genius of Duke City Championship Wrestling and ruining everyone's lives?
Music mode, man. I still have a band, and because I lack imagination, the name of the band is still For Sale.
Okay,
and it saves a lot of money on merch. Actually, very efficient,
smart.
But no, like I'm still a musician. I'm an actor. I actually, you know what? What day is this? Okay. In 6 more weeks, you can see me on a couple episodes of a show that's airing right now. So I wrapped filming that, and that was awesome. And
We can't say the show yet until it airs.
because there's a good chance they've cut me because I was bad. I might have worried, man. I might like it's just
Saleh Taylor, how do the friends of the show contact you?
You can find me from Van's Grinder.
Okay.
I'm always at least 50 feet from him.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but no, on Instagram, Facebook, MySpace, at For Sale 247. You'll find me around. And I will be better about posting where I'll be because I'm about to be everywhere again.
Let's go, baby. Saleh Taylor, Mr. Everything here in Albuquerque, also hyper talented individual. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a friend of the show. Max Machado, Dirty's Golf Shop, filling the holes. Tell the friends of the show how they get a hold of you and where they can get the best merch in all of golf at Dirty's.
You can come see me right on 1437 San Mateo Boulevard Northeast, dirtysgolfshop.com if you can't tune in locally. Or that's the Instagram too, Dirty's Golf Shop.
Boom. Carlos Tenorio back at the studio. Thank you for your hard work and due diligence. You overcame obstacles today. Thank you for your effort and your focus. You got some final words, my friend?
Yes, before our outro starts playing. Thank you to Lee Corso, who announced his retirement today from College Game Day. His last game day will be week 0, I believe, or week 1, one of the two.
Who's going to wear the mascot heads?
Who's going to do it? I think they need to retire it. Always been a big Lee Corso guy, so thank you, Lee, for all the memories, and you enjoy the retirement.
I got an idea. Instead of Lee Corso doing the mascot head, Pat McAfee rips off his blazer and has a tank top underneath with the winner.
I like it.
We good? Good?
I like it.
Thank you for all the participation today on the show. Thanks to Wayne for calling in. Thanks, Howard, calling in. Thanks, Seahawk Dan, for not only calling in, but coming over and buying us a round of margs. We'll be on the concourse at Isotopes Park tomorrow. Co-host Dan Mayfield's going to be on. We're going to have some great guests both on the Isotopes and in the community. You know, we always have fun. Stay safe out there, friends of the show, and join us tomorrow on the program. See you tomorrow, Burke.